Come join all your friends at the Abbey, a Quincy tradition. Hey everybody, welcome to the Daily Muddy. I'm Ashley Conrad. Today, Professor Joe Coelho with Quincy University is here to talk all things cicadas. Hi, Joe.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm well.
Good. So when you first walked in and you brought this case of bugs, some people might get squeamish, but I have grown up, I've always had like a weird fascination for cicadas, or locusts as a lot of people call them, from in my family and people that are around me, because we look for those shells on the trees, and we always thought they were locust shells, but you just informed me that is not correct, right?
Well, technically, the term locust means something like a grasshopper.
Okay.
Right? And cicadas are very different. It's just when settlers came to this country and saw the immense numbers of periodical cicadas, they likened that to a locust plague.
Gotcha.
So they got given that name, even though it's completely inappropriate.
Completely wrong. Okay, well, good to know. Yeah, we love the little shells that we find on trees, and we stick them to each other, and we've done that since we were kids, and now I've passed it on to my kids. But good to know. Also, we're here to talk about cicadas because there's something that is coming, or that is here, or is coming very soon to this area and surrounding areas, right? That hasn't happened in...
It's coming.
Yeah. So what is this?
It's a convergence of two different broods of periodical cicadas. So two different broods will be emerging in the same year, which doesn't happen very often.
So when you're saying broods, is that different, like genome, like different species? How would you even venture to explain it to someone who doesn't know anything about it?
I'll make the attempt, although
Okay.
it is confusing.
Okay.
So it's probably easiest to understand periodical cicadas in terms of their broods.
Okay.
And a brood is a year and place class.
Okay.
So it's a group that emerges in a particular place every either 13 or 17 years.
13 or 17.
So we can identify that group as, they're always here and they always come out, at this time. Now, having said that, well, let's see. There are 15 living broods across the U.S., or across actually the eastern U.S.
Okay.
And some of them are 13-year broods, and some of them are 17-year broods.
Now, when you're saying 17-year, does that mean it takes them 17 years to come out of the ground?
Exactly.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. That's a long time.
Yes, it is. And they're slow developing, in part because they're basically living off the xylem of the tree, which is mostly water. So it's like trying to gain weight on the watermelon diet.
Yeah, right?
It takes a long time.
It takes a while.
Mm-hmm.
So the broods that we can see. So when is this going to start? When do we expect to start seeing them emerge, I guess?
In this area, you might begin to see them as early as mid-April. But when I was going back through my photos, I see most of mine are from early June. So
okay.
They might start, did I say April? I meant May.
May, okay.
So they might come out mid-May, but probably, early June is when you're going to see most of them.
Gotcha. And when you're saying two broods, does that mean an increased number and quantity?
Actually, it means more like area, because most broods don't really overlap. They might come geographically up against each other, edge to edge, but there isn't too much overlap. Actually, this sample is from a really small area of overlap that we found between this brood and brood number 3.
Wow. Very, very, very interesting. And they're not dangerous to humans, is that correct?
No.
No?
Absolutely not.
Okay. So there's really nothing to be afraid of. When we're talking about, the existence of these broods and, they're coming, right? But there's nothing to be afraid of. And they actually kind of help the environment, right? I mean, of course, they're food for birds and...
They're food for everything.
Yeah.
When they come out, everything just stuffs themselves with cicadas.
Yeah.
But it's really part of their defense. Because they come out by the millions, even if everything eats, all the predators eat all the cicadas they can, they really can't make a dent in them.
Really?
So it's called predator satiation. So the predators are so full they just can't eat them all, and the rest just get to live and
Interesting.
do their thing.
So that's probably a part of. So have they always? I guess have the broods always happened this way, or has it kind of evolved into that? Do you know, based on like a survival mechanism?
How far back do you want to go?
Oh my gosh! Well, you and I could sit here and talk, but we have a limited amount of time, so maybe we'll have to come back and do more
at the end
information.
of the last
but-
glaciation, no, I mean it's thought that the broods, as we know them, have been around for thousands of years.
Okay.
Although they have moved around and they have split into different broods, mostly by going forward or backwards 4 years.
Interesting.
So that's why you have 13 and 17,
Yeah.
right? Because they can derive from each other. I did also want to say that each brood is composed of 3 or 4 different species that all come out at the same time.
Of cicadas.
Yeah.
So what kind of marks the different species?
It's really hard to tell them apart by eye. I mean, there are some subtle differences in coloration, but their song is very different.
That's what I was
So
gonna
the
ask.
call of them is actually a lot easier to distinguish.
And when you're saying the song, it's the noise they make, which do they make the noise by rubbing their wings together?
No, they don't. Actually, the males have a little pair of what are called tymbals, which are basically drums on their back, and they have a muscle that vibrates so fast. Well, no human muscle could even get close, right?
Right.
Kind of like a fly's wings beating, but anyway. So they can vibrate that drum head so fast that produces the song.
Weird.
And it's only the males that do it, and the song is always, "Don't you think I'm sexy?"
Right? Yeah. Well, and does it? The song is, of course, the noise that they make that is can be very, very loud. Especially, I don't know if anyone's ever picked up a live one, but the sound. I mean, it gets louder because I think is it a defense mechanism as well?
It has multiple functions. Interesting you mentioned, there is a cicada that's been recorded over 100 decibels, which
Wow.
is really loud. Not these guys, but...
So like a hairdryer is like how many decibels? Like 40,
that's getting
70,
close.
something? Yeah,
it's-
okay,
it's
okay.
like 90.
Okay.
But the main function, they do have defensive buzzes, which when you pick one up, that's what you're getting is the defensive
Yeah.
buzz, right? Which they do when they're grabbed. But what you're mostly going to hear are the mating calls. So, and when they emerge in such numbers, it's really pretty spectacular. And I recommend that you experience it because it's really fantastic. Go out into the woods right at the peak of the emergence and go to an area where you're just surrounded by trees and trees overhead. When the males are chorusing, it's deafening.
Oh, I bet.
It's absolutely fantastic.
So that can be like anywhere around here because this is going to happen locally, right?
Yeah. It'd have to be a nice wooded area.
Okay.
So a state park, something like that.
Sure.
Because they don't emerge in town and in cornfields.
Right.
and stuff.
But you do hear them at night. Smaller in numbers, of course. But if you want to hear it, the deafening
These will
sound.
be calling pretty much during the day.
Oh, really?
I should distinguish the periodical cicadas that we're talking about here versus the annual cicadas that we see every year, usually coming out at the end of the summer. That's why we call them dog day cicadas.
Okay.
And they don't really overlap in time, so they're quite different.
Gotcha. Interesting.
Animals.
This is really cool. I mean, honestly, I could sit here and talk about it all day because I'm sure you have so many interesting facts to spit about cicadas. Any just like really cool ones that maybe no one knows?
Well, a lot of people ask if cicada killers are among their predators. That's actually one of my main research animals is a cicada killer, which is a great big giant wasp. And if you've ever seen them,
Yeah, they're
never
scary
forget
looking.
it because they're huge. They're the biggest wasp that occurs in this area, and they carry cicadas in flight, and that's also quite a show. But they don't feed on the periodical cicadas because they're just not out yet.
Yeah.
Right. Their cycle is timed to the annual cicadas, which are reliably there every year.
Right.
They can't just starve for
17 years. Yeah. Well, this is all just so fascinating. So if somebody wanted to learn more about cicadas or the emergence of the two broods, coming early this summer, where would they go or how would they learn more about it?
There's a great website that's been around forever called cicadamania.com. And they have lots of good information.
Yeah.
If you want to get involved, there's an app called Cicada Safari.
Okay.
And you can download that to your phone, and you can photograph these cicadas wherever you find them. And your data will be uploaded, and you'll become part of a study describing where the cicadas are found.
Cool, and part of a community. Very, very, very cool. Thank you so much, Professor Coelho. I appreciate you coming on. You're a biology professor, so I want to go ahead and shout that out again for Quincy University. So thanks again for coming in and just, enlightening me a little bit more on cicadas, which I did call locusts, and now I know that's wrong. So, yeah, thank you so much. It was interesting talking to you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Anytime.
All right, thanks. Coming up next, I sit down with some gals from QPS, and we talk about Dream Big's Color Run. Stay tuned.
Instant Replay is your local sports bar. With 18 big screen TVs, we have all the sports packages from college games to pro games. We offer daily drink specials, and come check out the Bullpen, our newly renovated beer garden. Instant Replay, 2739 Chestnut in Quincy.
Are you looking for the perfect venue for your next special event? Check out Utopia Event Center.
Utopia has a large banquet room and an awesome bar area, perfect for anything from birthday parties to formal corporate meetings. It also offers a photo booth, stage for a DJ or a live band, and a fully stocked bar, all for only $300. Check us out at utopiaeventcenter.com or call Barn at 217-430-6559 for more information. Utopia Event Center, 900 North 12th Street in Quincy.
Kelly's has been a fun place to eat and drink in Quincy since 1982. A fun and friendly atmosphere, food with flavor, homemade cinnamon rolls, and famous cheese soup, the best menu in town. Kelly's, 2902 Broadway, Quincy.
The Tower, a great place to meet and eat. But did you know the Tower has one of the finest drink selections in our area? Along with its incredible Mexican menu, the Tower specializes in tequilas for every taste. Names like Patron, Cabo Wabo, and Hornitos. And don't forget the margaritas. On Mondays and Tuesdays, stop by and pick up a single topping pizza and get Tower margaritas to go. Enjoy the Tower at home or in our dining room, bar area, or the Tower's signature climate-controlled porch. The Tower Pizza and Mexican in Quincy.
The Liquor Booth is your home for a huge selection of beer, wine, and spirits. The Liquor Booth has 2 locations in Quincy, 3520 Broadway and 1500 North 12th Street. The Liquor Booth, where it's always happy hour.
And welcome back. Joining me now, Heidi Lanier and Rachel Raleigh with the QPS Foundation, here to talk about something really, really cool that I have experienced, and I highly suggest the rest of you take part in, and that is the QPS Dream Big Color Run. Right?
Yes.
Okay, so for anyone who hasn't heard of it or hasn't seen any pictures, which they're probably few and far between, but let's go ahead and just kind of give a high-level summary of what the Dream Big Color Run is and what it supports.
Yeah,
okay,
absolutely. So the Dream Big and Color Run is our second largest fundraiser of the year for the foundation. 100% of the proceeds go back to Quincy Public Schools. This year it will be held on April 20th, Saturday, April 20th. And it's a 5K fun run and walk, so you can come, bring your entire family. We'll have color stations throughout the route where they're throwing, fun colors at you. And
yes.
When you get back to the finish line, you'll be all colored in rainbow.
Yeah, the more color you have on you, the more it testifies to the amount of time you spent walking, running, right? So you hit all those stations. It's definitely a great family event, or if you're by yourself and you want to challenge yourself, you can do that, right?
Absolutely.
So when I did it, there were a bunch of people who were real serious about the race part, right? So they were running. Not so much me. My girls and I just kind of walked. They complained. I walked and then walked a little bit faster. But the color run part was so fun, because you're kind of standing there and their kids and parents get involved and they're, winging these colors at you, and it's so fun. It just adds a really cool element to something that's supporting a great cause and foundation.
Absolutely.
So speaking of the foundation, QPS Foundation is what exactly?
Well, the QPS Foundation is the Quincy Public School District's nonprofit fundraising arm.
Okay.
We're an independent organization, so we're not employed by the school district, but everything we do is in support of the school district.
Gotcha. So you support things such as, can you give a few examples?
Sure. So
okay.
One of our biggest programs is we do 2 teacher grant programs a year. So anyone who works within Quincy Public Schools can complete a grant application asking for funding from us, and our grants committee goes through, first of all, they're vetted from the school district, and then our grants committee goes through and approves or denies the applications. And we fund anything from like software requests for individual classrooms to A new lighting system for Quincy Junior High is actually our most recent
Oh,
grant
wow.
application that we funded.
So just running the full gamut of trying to support these projects and
Yep.
events. That's so cool.
And we just, really love giving teachers and students the tools they need to succeed.
Absolutely. And they're expensive. So you have to have events like this to help fundraise. So it's awesome to know that this is one of your biggest ones and it's coming up. And if you've never seen it, so the last one, I don't know if the route has changed. We can talk about that in just a minute. But there were so many people. It was incredible. And then we kind of reconvened at senior high, and just to see everybody in their colored gear, and a lot of people go all out on this.
Oh, they really do.
It is so fun.
Yeah, you'll see some people in costumes, so they'll come wearing fun tutus
Yes.
and some really cool things. Some just in the race T-shirts that you get in your race packet for registration. But no, we get groups of adults, groups of kids, just the whole gamut. I think last year we had over 700 attendees at our race. So.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy awesome. I love to see it. So you are talking about the race packet. You mentioned the T-shirt. So when you register, which people have to register for this, right?
You
Okay.
do have to register.
Okay.
So tickets right now are $15 for anyone under 18 and $35 for anyone over 18. That's early bird pricing. So early bird registration will run through April 5th.
Okay.
And with your registration, you get your T-shirt and a cool packet of information from some of our other sponsors and some really cool stuff in there.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Now, where do they go to register?
You can go to qpsfoundation.org to register. There are lots of links there. Or visit us on Facebook for more information.
Excellent. So back to the route. Is it going to be kind of the same, like through? So
Yep.
it's like Main Street-ish.
Yep, same
Okay.
route. So you'll go down Main Street to about 14th. You'll loop through some of the neighborhood there and then back up Main Street to the high school.
Perfect. And that's where everybody will reconvene. And you took a really cool group picture last year, so I'm sure that's on your
Yeah,
Facebook if
it
you haven't seen it.
absolutely is.
Go check it out. Very, very cool. I recommend you get registered. Last year, the weather was perfect. It was a great day, so hopefully we'll have the same this year.
Yeah.
Get registered for the Color Run. It's April 20th. And one more time, if they want to register, how do they do that?
At qpsfoundation.org.
Thank you. Thank you, ladies. I appreciate everything that you
thank
do, and I hope to see you April 20th.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks so
Thank
much. I think that does it for today's Daily Muddy. We'll catch you back here tomorrow for more.
Muddy River News. Our home, our news.